Hey, welcome back, guys. Kendrick Lamar, prolific West Coast artist and MC, is revered for dropping layered musical gems. His last album, Damn, was a spiritually inspired epic that hit even heavier in reverse than it did from the front. And let's not even get started on To Pimp a Butterfly, which is the greatest album of the last decade in this commentator's humble opinion. Now 5 years removed from his previous opus, Kendrick has blessed us with yet another heavy addition to his stellar catalog, The Heart Part 5. And there's much to unpack, so let's get to this thing. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. Here we go. The video begins with a 5-word quote attributed to Kendrick's final form character, Oklama, a being evolved from K-Dot, Kenny, and Kung Fu Kenny. The quote simply states, "I am all of us." You'll notice that the short phrase is written as 2 sentences, with I am serving as the first. I am is the designation of God himself. In the scripture, Jesus conveys 7 I am statements asserting his position as the mouthpiece of the Almighty. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door of the sheep. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the good shepherd. I am the way, the truth, and the life. And I am the true vine. Each of these statements represents spiritual reassurance to those in search of the higher path and a commitment to those faithful souls. Kendrick's personal journey and subsequent ascension has placed him in this similar place via Oklama, and the latter is but a conduit to the great I am, a roadmap to a higher plane of thinking, living, and being. The second sentence is just as significant and speaks to the people who would projectedly follow the great I am, those whom his power resides in. After all, an omnipotent being without the people is merely a fantasy, and the energy from the all empowers the I, resulting in the collective we. The full phrase is a derivative of the South African proverb, I am because we are, which ultimately means humanity. It emphasizes realizing the self through others, translating from an African phrase that I'd rather not butcher, but means a person is a person through other people. This understanding offers us insight on why Kendrick shuffles through the various celebrities and personalities throughout the video. He has surpassed the point of merely spectating the culture and is now immersed in it. His absence doesn't negate his empathy for the events that occurred within the 5-year span between this album and his last. And through it all, he seems to want us to feel that connection, or rather, his connection to all of us. This illuminated state of being is also why I believe a black background and white letters were chosen to convey the message further, as from darkness comes light, and ignorance comes enlightenment. Once the video begins, we see Kendrick depicted in a white t-shirt, black bandana, and a lock fro combination. His appearance here is meant to convey relatability to onlookers, to emphasize that, even as an international superstar, I am no different from the common man or woman. I am seeing the disparities and iniquities that have caused frailties throughout the land, and I'm not removed from them simply because of my heightened status. To the contrary, I maintain a heightened awareness that spurs the empathy within my soul, and I am gracious to all of you for your part in becoming the man that stands before you today. This sentiment is validated by Kendrick's opening soliloquy, thanking his fans and admirers for their energy and contributions. Kendrick then proceeds to delve into the culture, the subject on trial, and under strong rebuke throughout the nearly 6-minute expose. His analysis is far-reaching, given the amount of time he's had to ponder on the various ills that affected his beloved culture. The song is broken down into 3 acts upon further examination: past, reflection, present, indictment, and future, redemption. Kendrick starts out addressing his past experiences with the culture, coming from an environment infested with shattered dreams. You'll notice here that he doesn't change faces, as he's not speaking from the POV of outsiders to the culture, but rather his own perspective from within it. In the second verse, he addresses the present. This is where the deepfakes begin protruding, beginning with OJ. Under this guise, Kendrick states, I said I do this for my culture, to let y'all know what a nigga look like in a bulletproof Rover. This line is a play on Jay-Z's second verse opening to Izzo, and is ironic given that Kendrick opens the second verse with this as well. Moreover, Jay-Z famously addressed the OJ dynamic on his classic 444 album, explaining how blacks are still perceived as inferior despite their wealth and status. Here, Kendrick is emphasizing that no matter his own wealth, he's still a nigga in a coupe, as Kanye once said. The image of OJ is relevant because he infamously carried himself as an outsider of blackness. despite similarly undergoing the ills that affect many black men, regardless of their social position via the courtroom. What some in our culture refer to as the Negro wake-up call. Kendrick's next deepfake comes in the form of the aforementioned Kanye West. Under this imagery, Kendrick recites, "Friends bipolar, grab you by your pockets, no option if you froze up, always play the offense." This line serves as Kendrick's first of many double entendres. On the surface, it's chronicling Ye's tumultuous journey with the mental challenge, while also holding the leeches who surround such an enigma responsible for their roles in enabling his behavior for the hope of financial gain through silence and complacency. The final line about always playing offense is an endeavor to explain Ye and other celebrities' tendency to lash out in hopes of changing the narrative, a futile effort to say the least. Kendrick then adds, "That's the culture, point the finger, promote ya." This line drives home the nefarious nature of the culture under media influence, the latter of which magnifies celebrity spectacles for profit, irrespective of their mental condition. It's a noteworthy criticism that surely won't change the dynamic, but will certainly ignite the gears of your mind to reconsider what you give your energy to going forward. Kendrick's third deepfake comes in the form of Jussie Smollett, or Juicy if you're lying. Kendrick declares, "The streets got me fucked up. Y'all can miss me. I want to represent for us. New Revolution was up and moving. I'm in Argentina wiping tears full of confusion. Water in between us, another peer's executed. History repeats again. Make amends, then find a nigga with the same skin to do it." This is a deep stanza from the beloved MC. Kendrick's affirmation that "I want to represent for us" is a weighted statement. For one, it obviously speaks to Jussie's infamous speech following his conviction for fabricating a hate crime against himself. Jussie stressed how he yearned to be a symbol for black people, a desire that fell on deaf ears largely due to the nature of his transgressions. Underneath that, however, Kendrick is speaking to those who would castigate him as being a fabricator of the culture himself, those that would charge him with benefiting off black struggle monetarily through his art, yet not literally putting boots on the ground with those who support his music from a grassroots level. Personalities such as Chicago's No Name, for example, who called out such artists, leading to a brief back and forth between the talented Windy City songstress and J. Cole, who answered the call as thoughtfully as anyone. Kendrick, however, remained silent throughout the ordeal, opting to absorb the criticism rather than respond to it. While the New Revolution was up and moving, Kendrick was enjoying his life and family overseas, far removed from the tragedies at home. He maintains the Jussie deepfake throughout this portion because he feels like a fraud internally for being removed physically. He's indicting himself here, while still holding those who would commit the same atrocities to their own brothers and sisters accountable. His fourth journey into the deepfake realm projected that of Will Smith. Kendrick poignantly states, "In a land where hurt people, fuck calling it culture." This line directly parallels what many believe are feelings residing inside of the acting legend, who was infamously hurt by his wife's very public infidelity fiasco. Following that national spectacle, Will created one that trumped it tenfold with the slap heard around the world at the 94th Oscar Awards. Many pundits credited Will's emotional actions to the former incident with Jada, charging him with transforming one hurt into another. Beyond that comprehension of his appearance, Will is also shown grooving to the hook, where Kendrick pleads for love and acceptance from an imperfect culture. This sentiment mirrors Will's own, explaining why he'd commit such an act on a public forum, and validates Kendrick's placement of him throughout its duration. Upon dropping the drums out, Kendrick's next transformations are reserved for our fallen, the first of which is Kobe Bryant, who tragically lost his life along with his young daughter in a plane crash back in January of 2020. The lines preceding Kobe's appearance are indicative of his legacy-defining Mamba mentality, which is viewed as an inspirational philosophy centered on overcoming the odds through intense focus. Directly preceding the fallen NBA icon, Kendrick states, "Consciousness is synchronized and made clear." You'll notice that he recites this line off rhythm with his mouth, lending credence to how things have shifted in the culture since Kobe and later Nipsey's deaths, irrevocably so. Once Kobe appears, Kendrick states, "Euphoria is glorified and made his. Reflecting on my life and what I've done, paid dues made rules change out of love. Them same views made schools change curriculums." The euphoria portion of this line represents another double entendre. On one hand, euphoria is defined as an intense state of happiness and confidence. Kobe's life and legacy was the best definition of intense, and he was basking in the next chapter of his life. Since his untimely demise, his own euphoria has been glorified within the hearts of us all, and his teachings have reached beyond the basketball sphere, invading the likes of schools and gyms alike. On the other hand, Euphoria is a slight nod to the popular HBO series that deals with teenage life and drug dependency. Despite the adolescent aspect, Kobe's confidence and happiness were definitely addictive components of Kobe's life, leading to his tremendous success, a success that was also like a drug to the famed superstar. Also, through his Mamba Mentality manifesto, Kobe chronicled his dues paid on the basketball court and small lessons for anyone of any walk of life to absorb for their betterment. The final deepfake arrives in the form of the slain Nipsey Hussle, who Kendrick shared a geographic location with via the West Coast and a musical camaraderie with as well, the two previously collaborating on Nipsey's first and final opus, Victory Lap. Throughout the Nipsey portion, Kendrick masterfully eulogizes the fallen MC from Nip's vantage point, detailing his life, career, impact, and legacy in some of his most thought-provoking bars to date. It's a true redemption arc for a real-life icon who never lived to realize the fruits of his labor, nor tell his own story in full, transitioning at the young age of 33. Of all the deepfakes, this one is the most haunting, as it literally reflects Nip's look and aura. It comes across as more than just a reflective verse, but an out-of-body experience by Kendrick in honor of his assassinated contemporary, one that he'd surely be proud of in life and hopefully smile down on in his death. One line from the many jewels that sticks out from Nipsey's segment is this: "And I can't blame the hood the day that I was killed. Y'all had to see it, that's the only way to feel." This one line literally sums up Kendrick's theme for the entire song and video: connection. It's the culture that connects us, no matter how crazy it gets. Tragedies, deceptions, and sensationalism aside, these are the events that connect us all. The context of the culture is defined by the character of the people within it. And if it's toxic and out of order, then it's up to us to take a deeper look inside to reconstruct what the recently transitioned Kevin Samuels referred to as our ethnic image. We are the culture, and the culture is us. We owe it more than it has experienced, especially in the last half-decade. A few lingering details before I end this one. You'll notice from the beginning that Kendrick is post-stating throughout the video. This is representative of his position as the literal heart of the culture. It also adds more credence to the concept of connection, the very theme he's trying to drive home. The background is blood red, and he's positioned to the left, the same place as the human heart. Kendrick is donning a black bandana to further his connection theme as well, one that speaks to solidarity of the people who embody the culture itself. And lastly, Kendrick covered 6 personalities overall via deepfake technology, 4 living ones and 2 fallen ones. The number 6 is highly significant in spiritual circles. It is the number of imperfection, something that Kendrick is indicting the culture for being while attempting to gain its warmth and acceptance simultaneously. It represents the number of man. In the Bible, man was created on the 6th day. Thou shalt not kill is the 6th commandment. Additionally, 6 also represents the element of carbon on the periodic table, the basic element in the creation of the physical realm. When we transition from the physical world, our physical bodies remain, but our spirits return. This is illustrated by our funerals having 6 pallbearers, a 6-sided coffin, and being buried 6 feet underground. The lower man dying in order for the higher man, i.e. the spirit, to live on. And that'll do it for this one. What are your thoughts on all of this? What are some takeaways you gathered from Kendrick's latest Heart installment? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are fans of Kendrick Lamar, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.